Sending data. Hope everybody had a great Turkey Day. I was sick. It was a lot of fun being sick on Turkey Day. But like everybody got sick. I did. Yes, I did end up eventually getting to eat. Yeah, and then my wife's 40th birthday party. And yeah, I mean, it was good all around. Well, I'm not sure. You could. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, November was pretty freaking crazy. It was really just nuts how. Let me make this a little bigger here. The where did it go? Damn it. Aha. I mean, for a lot of altcoins, it was, oh my God, it's up 40% now? Sheesh. Hedera. That's impressive. See how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. It's straight up. I mean, that's pretty badass. It's not at all-time highs, but it is back to where it was in January of 2022. In 5 weeks, less than 5 weeks, Hedera has wiped out almost 3 years worth of downwards momentum and sideways yuck. Excuse me. Yeah, that's pretty damn good move by Hedera. I mean, all over the place. If you go to the monthly, let me get rid of the Ichimoku system here, and you just look at them. I'm going to be writing about this in the light paper. Jesus, we're 2 days into this September, in December, and Hedera's already up 72.05%, which may or may not increase. Who knows? Or decrease. 273% in November. Yeah, just really strong moves. So where did my notes go? I had my notes somewhere around here. Here we are. Yep. All right. By the numbers for Bitcoin, looking at November. Bitcoin, November 2024. That was the highest monthly close ever. Obviously, got to new all-time highs. And it's the best month since February 2021. Okay, wrap your head around that. That's how far back we'd have to go to see a month that beat November 2024. Moving on. Save your money. How you doing? Yeah, it was pretty amazing how well it's done. And the altcoin market itself, I mean, we haven't really talked about this. You really don't even see people talking much about it, but it's not at all-time highs, but the monthly close was the highest monthly close the altcoin market, excluding Ethereum, has ever had. And this was the best month since, what is that, 59.52? February of 2021. And if you'll look, you'll see the altcoin market, excluding Ethereum, was up 1.56%. The altcoin market with Ethereum is up 0.46%, but the total market cap, save your money, attaboy. I've been in it since 2017. I know how good the feeling is. The total market cap is down, but this is a totally normal, natural thing to see have happen. And pulled this up to take a look at. This is from the November 7th, 2024 light paper, where I talked about where'd it go actually? Oh yeah, right here. When is alt season? So this was on November 7th. I'll take a look at ICP, yeah. Or if you're asking me if I hold some, I have a little ICP, not much. Excuse me. So basically, when I was talking about on the 7th of November, and I mentioned it earlier, but this is the most recent one, that there's been early signs that alt season was coming. And I mean, I'm not the only one who has talked about that, certainly. But the point I was making is in that light paper, the thing to look for was that Bitcoin market dominance chart, and to see Bitcoin's market dominance drop. Now, this is the monthly chart. You know, it hit these 3.5 year, 3 3/4 year highs at 61.53%, and since then it's dropped. I mean, we're looking at the monthly, but that monthly candlestick, the candlestick itself, that is one hell of a bearish candle. That's what's known as a bearish engulfing candlestick. And if you're a Japanese candlestick trader, you are an insane person. Although you probably wonder if I'm not. I do my analysis on Japanese candlesticks, but when I take trades, I use point and figure. So that's for a different yeah, if we have time, I can certainly go over that, show it. Yeah. Let's see, where was I at? Oh yes, Bitcoin's market dominance taking a big nosedive. Yesterday it dropped 4.06%. So the value, not the actual percentage dominance, but the relative move, it fell 4.06% last week. And now it's at 56.32%. So it's still about 50%. But when you zoom out, and when you've seen prior alt seasons take over, you notice that we're still in the beginning phases of it. Or, I mean, in fact, this might just be Bitcoin's pause, and this is I don't think it is, but it could just be a meh moment where there's some fast, profit taking that happens. It doesn't look like that though. There's so much volume on chain analytics. The volume pouring into alts is significant and sustained. It's pretty powerful. But going back to, how bullish November was, let's see, Ethereum. Ethereum is the best November since November of 2017. And it's the third best November ever after 2017 and 2013's. Actually, no, that's for Bitcoin. I'm sorry. Ethereum. Sorry, I was reading Bitcoin's things. Yeah. November 2024 was Ethereum's best month since July 2022. Very, very strong, nice moves. Ripple. I mean, I don't know what you have to say about this one. 282.72% higher. Still hasn't made a new all-time high. And Stellar and Ripple, they both, I mean, they're both kind of in the same space and target relatively the same business case. Now, well, anyways, Ripple and Stellar's charts look a lot alike, and they're also a lot alike because neither one has made a new all-time high since January of 2018. And when you look at their market caps relative to the rest of their peers, especially Ripple, that it hasn't made a new all-time high yet, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of nuts. Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is right over here. You can see it. Not every altcoin is doing well today, but that's good. I mean, not everyone has to do well. You're going to have laggards. You're going to have leaders. You're going to have people who take profit out of the winners that have ran and look for the ones that are lagging because they have more upside potential. So there's, that's one of the great things. And the reason why people love alt season from a trading perspective is that, if you operate on the theory that, rising waters float all boats, the ones that have been the front runners are eventually going to pause. You're eventually going to get, some profit taking, and, you're going to get this, what's what I'm looking for. Going to get this nice rotation of capital out of, different alts and seeing things, zip up and down. So that's a very attractive thing. And so November 2024 was just an amazing month overall for any metric. The stock market, some commodities, if you know people who are in this, have small businesses, for whatever reason, November 2024, very, very good month. And that really tracks with what we expect. November 2024 is historically, for Bitcoin and the broader crypto market, the best performing month, hands down. It is. Quarter four itself is, I think it's the best overall, but if you want to discount volatility, I mean, if you want to add in volatility, then quarter one is the best. And they still both perform well. But you wanted me to take a peek at ICP, so let's do that. Internet Computer Protocol. Yep, these daily candles look like this all over the place. So, this is also, beginning of alt seasons. This is also when you start to see, what am I saying here? you start to see a change in, oh, there we go. You start to see a change in the overall behavior of individual assets where, you know, like a parabolic move, nobody has any freaking clue when that's going to stop. Well, that's not true. Some people do. But the thing is, like, when it comes to the technical analysis side of things, there are some tools and methods and technical analysis that really just kind of get thrown out the window. You know, things like momentum indicators and volatility in a parabolic move. They become pointless because what do you do when you've got something like Stellar, which has moved up like 400 some percent, and you've got God, what were the other ones that had like stupidly huge moves? Yeah, Stellar was up 468%. Algo 288, Pepe 121, Tezos 165. God damn, that's one I'm pissed off about. I sold my Tezos like when it hit 89 cents. Now that I was staking it, so they like you get the rewards like every couple days, and knowing what I would have seen every couple days if I would have held on to that. But that's life. All right, so Stellar, from a technical perspective, Ichimoku analysis perspective, let's see. And you know what? Unless anybody else asks to look at something, we can spend some time here looking at this. So, yeah, Japanese candlesticks. Oh yeah, there's a lot of us Tezos people. I mean, right, huge. What I love about Tezos, and I hope to get in. I hope there's a pullback. I probably won't get one. Thing about Tezos that I really like, I mean, I get off topic so easily, is that Tezos is one of the few, you know, alts that you can stake and they don't hold it hostage. You know, like they don't keep it there and say you have to wait a month or 2 months, 3 months, X amount of days before you can withdraw your stake. To me, that is just silly. I don't like that. I do not like that at all. Hold on, I gotta... Why don't I like... Well, because if I put money in the bank today, I can withdraw it again that same day. Now, if you're telling me that the DeFi space is still so immature and unreliable that I have to trust, like that my bank makes it easier for me to withdraw the money that I put in there, there's issues with that. I'm making a generalization here, obviously, but yeah. Okay. ICP, I mean, Ichimoku perspective, things look awesome. I mean, it's not out of equilibrium. The bodies of the candlesticks, they're close to the Tenkan Sen, so nothing is screaming it's way overdone. There's a Kumo twist on the 11th to pay attention to. Let's see on the weekly chart. Oh my God, on the weekly chart, ICP hasn't even had an ideal Ichimoku breakout yet. I mean, look at that. Such a strong move, you know, all over, and it hasn't even had a clean break above the cloud yet, which is kind of impressive. But it makes more sense now why you look at it and you see it stuck there. The oscillators, and really nothing screaming there. So we can take a peek at it, point and figure perspective. How much is it again? ICP is ICP 1305. Am I happy that Gensler's gone? Yes. Very happy that Gensler will be gone. Gensler's gone. Gensler's gone. Gensler's gone away. I need to make that a fucking song. Let's see. I'm gonna use use Ethereum. Take over this chart. And we're going to go with the 0.5. That is called an ascending triple top breakout. That is, oh, I have my notes over there. That is according to, Jeremy Duplessis, or in his book, or no, it's in the Kirkpatrick and Dahlquist book, Technical Analysis, where they identified this as one of the best performing point and figure patterns out there. Granted, that's for, all those studies are done with stocks. You don't see a lot of them done on anything else. But one of the cool things, I think it is actually technically in a bull market now. Yep. Yeah, it has been for a little while. Well, since the 16th. Because in point and figure, you are always in a bull market or a bear market, and there's no time factor involved. This is like when people say they're price action traders, that doesn't mean trading with candlesticks without any indicators or anything. That's naked trading. Point and figure is price action only. So that's all you see is price action. There's no time factor involved at all. This is pure price. Excuse me. Trying to mute it when I have a cough. But yeah, this is a very nice, strong, bullish pattern. And it is in a bull market because it has moved beyond the dominant trend line. And now it's in a bull market, and that trend line is this one. So as long as it stays above this trend line, it remains in a bull market. Yeah, there's really not much to. So I mean, if I wanted to get into ICP, which I do, I'm going to use the Kijun-sen. I should say I have no intention to today because I haven't plotted anything out. But I mean, if I were to do it today, I would use this $11 range. The Kijun-sen is kind of the area to look at. But judging by how everything else has moved and is moving, I mean, it might be a hard thing. Man, Hedera just, I don't even know if there's some news on this or not, which doesn't matter. News is pointless, but short-term intraday swings certainly can see a lot of activity. Your 80 exit plan. They've been accumulating for 3 years. Why do you want to get out now? Just as it's getting going. Do you stake it? There's always a little delay on here. I mean, I stake mine, so. And I also, participate in several liquidity pools on Cardano's dexes, like actually I think just on MinSwap. Yeah, just on MinSwap I do. Yeah, Hedera is just on a tear. Sir, I didn't even realize that the Skyrock's Golden Cross. Oh yeah, what are the liquidations at? That's what I would like to know. Oh. Ooh. 607. Now this is interesting because this is all Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah. I mean, this really doesn't tell you much. Well, I'll tell my one of my technical analysis and trading mentors always told me that nobody ever went broke taking profit early. And he didn't follow it up with anything like, but they never made rich either. Yeah. 672 million liquidated in the futures, the perpetual futures. Longs have 450 million of that. But when you look over here, the last 24 hours, that's really interesting. So others, so the all of the relatively others is like the shit coins. So they have represented their long positions have been liquidated large, and the short liquidations for XRP make sense. And longs for Bitcoin and Ethereum make sense while they're getting liquidated, but yeah, you're seeing a good chunk of the altcoin market still turning higher here. But yeah, Hedera I just want to double check, make sure I'm not like totally missing something here. I know that MicroStrategy's bought like 15,000 more Bitcoin. Coinbase's policy chief says we have the most pro-crypto Congress ever. That is very true. The government moves nearly 2 billion. I bet. I don't want to be political here, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Biden administration wants to dump $2 billion worth of Bitcoin just to give a middle finger to the next administration and the people who voted for it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, really, it's not gonna. I mean, there's that's Bitcoin from the Silk Road debacle. So those things get sold at auction. So there will be a bid, or they have some type of custodian, like it's the marshals, I believe, who have. Yeah. So the marshals, every time they've done it before, I believe they send it to Coinbase, and Coinbase becomes the market maker for that. Dash, remember Dash? I had I had some Dash until I sold it this weekend, so I missed out on some of these most recent gains, but I got like 43, something like that. Man, Hedera is just crazy. What is the biggest movers today? I don't want to take too long. I want to look at, okay, if these ones are on the move, who hasn't moved? Which alts look like they have opportunity? I'm going to look at the weekly chart on that, because like you can't look at the daily for these because these things moving like crazy. Let's start from the bottom up. Oh yeah, you like that song? I do too. I don't know where I found that a lot of these, they just maybe I had a playlist on YouTube playing and I'm like, I really like that, so I had to add it to my Amazon MP3. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that uses Amazon MP3. I also don't use anything Apple. The devil. Apple's the devil. All right. What was I doing? Oh yeah, looking at the weekly. Yeah, so ZRX is still below weekly cloud. Zilliqa as well. Horizon. Nice. Zcash. Zcash is just... I am thrilled with how Zcash has been performing, and I have been like looking at Zcash for a long time, and I'm happy I rotated out profits into Stellar when I did. Let's see, Wi-Fi still there. Tezos. Ripple. Jeez. Yeah, eventually I think Monero might be, and this is just from a purely speculative, like nothing to do with technical analysis or fundamental analysis, maybe more fundamental analysis, but Monero's a privacy coin. But I'm wondering, in this new regulatory environment, if exchanges won't start to add Monero back. I don't know. Maybe. Stellar. Good healthy pause here. I like that it didn't like totally like huge red candle sell off, and that it's been sitting here pretty steady. WorldCoin, dog with hat. VeChain, Uniswap. I mean, hard to find anything that has not been on a Telor, which is really down there still. We're flattening out a little bit up here. Sui, healthy pause up here. Also, this is kind of the thing you want to see with the things that have moved. You do want to see a little park and bark for a while. Little chill out. Right now, there's not a ton to do as far as stacks. Layer 2 stacks DAO. Layer 2 for Bitcoin. You want to make like DeFi work on Bitcoin, but it's got a lot of competition. Stark Storage, Solana, SHIB. SHIB's getting SHIB completed an ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout. I think it's the secret network. Now, a lot of these that we looked at last week and 2 weeks ago, they're just Really, Thor chain is down here still. This one might be a good speculative long. Definitely with the thin cloud, and it hasn't gone gangbusters yet. Render. By the way, Render, they did all the processing and rendering for this Star Trek short film, which is beautiful, and it has William Shatner and the estate of Leonard Nimoy was involved. And I mean, first off, it's hard to tell. It's getting harder to tell that the faces and the movements are AI generated, but Render did it. And I was looking at like, Render, if you don't know, it's a decentralized, GPU farm basically. To the cost apparently is 90% less than what it would have cost to like have a traditional Hollywood studio do that, and then also it was 90% faster. So it's they're kind of democratizing the access to what do they call it? I don't know, that kind of computer power. Pepe Pendle. Ooh, Pendle. Yeah, that's a nice chart. Oh, I gotta write these down. Where's my thing here? Right. Hold on. I gotta put this down in my notes. Rune and now Pendle, because those look really... Yeah, they moved up a lot with everything else, but they have yet to see their big weekly breakouts. Optimism. Just a very unfortunately named crypto. Ontology. That's a tough one. Near protocol. Last week, it did finally complete an ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout. But I think it's the first one ever. Yep. First one ever. Mina protocol. And Mina falls into the category of instruments that Charles Kunitz kind of identifies as the early aggressive entry area, the forgotten zone. Excuse me. Litecoin. Still doing really well. Lisk. Better. Loopring. Yep. Chainlink. Chainlink's done very well. No doubt about that. I mean, I remember back earlier this year, like this was a tough nut to crack, and it is just kind of a depressing spiral, but Chainlink just had a thing. Let's see. I was just reading their blog this morning. I don't know how big of a deal this is. It says, we're excited to announce Europe's first tokenized securities trading and settlement system, 21X. 21X is adopting the Chainlink standard. The 7 integrations of Chainlink across Arbitrum, AVAX. This was last week. Arbitrum, AVAX, Base, Ethereum, Optimism, Solana. AVAX also has had a really, really good move. Yeah, I mean it is. It's whether you, I guess like there's always that principles over profit or profit over principles discussion. I mean, Chainlink is one of those, and blockchain entities that is very much, if you're in it for the money, then Chainlink's successful trials and partnerships with Swift and every single large bank in the US and international as well. I mean, the fact that a lot of these entities chose to trial and see and successfully test the tokenization of assets and contracts across Swift using Chainlink is a freaking big deal. Now the question's going to be, if they do end up using something like Chainlink to, make it faster, make transactions cheaper, faster, and then the accounting is also something that is you don't really have to worry about because it's a public ledger. But how decentralized will these very centralized entities allow a decentralized network be? I don't know if you would consider Chainlink very decentralized, but Komodo, man, Komodo swings all over the place. Jeez. Kava's getting close to one of those aggressive entries. Kava looks just like Dash did a few weeks ago. This is interesting to me. I mean, I consider, I think of it, consider. Yes, I consider, in my own opinion, which I think is very substantial, because of all the gaming, wow, I'm having a Monday. I can't think or talk. Because of all the integrations that Mutable has in the gaming space, to me, it just feels like a dull big red truck. Why not? Injective protocol. That one I'm going to add that one to the list. Illuvium. Actually thinking about taking this one off my list because it's a single game, and I really don't actually know if it's. I've played it, yeah. I mean, I played it. I haven't played it. I think I last played it in like August. Icon. Icon still has not had an ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout. The graph. The graph looks like 1, 2. Gala Games and Gala. Okay, so I'm looking at my list. I've got Rune, Pendle, INJ, GRT, Gala, IMEX. I didn't add it to my list because I already have IMEX, but seeing a lot of there's a lot of shared relationships here between games and AI-ish stuff. Phantom. Flow. Oh, there's another one. I guess there are quite a few that are. Flow, Flocky. Is it Floki? Altcoin. It is one, but Fetch. Wow. Halted right up against Senko Span B. Oof. It's like it was walking down the hallway and then somebody opened a door right in its face. That's just rude. Who is this piece of shit? Oh. It's Ethereum short positions. Ethereum also has not had an ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout yet on its weekly chart. That's funny. Oh, might want to retest the breakout. All right, let's see. Ethereum Classic. Breakout. EOS had its breakout. Engine. Dydex. Polkadot. Yeah, I don't know if any of you watched that collaboration between that shared space on X with Polkadot and Cardano, and me and everyone else thought it was gonna be like some like cool partnership, but it I don't think it was. It was just a get together. Okay, Decred's pulled off a lot of pulled out a lot of its gains. Dash is still up a good amount. Curve Finance, Curve, they are Curve and Sequence are. They've already been working with BlackRock's Build a Fund. I don't actually know how you pronounce it. It's not Buildle Fund. They're doing the tokenization of I think it's called like SEUSD. No, what is it? I want to say it right. Just posted about it today. Curve, sorry, it was Sequence. Curve, Elixir, and BlackRock built a 533 million DeFi bridge to connect real-world assets with DeFi via DEUSD. I said SEUSD. DEUSD stablecoins. BlackRock's 533 million build a fund mints DEUSD backed by secure assets like U.S. Treasuries. So BlackRock is in the stablecoin business. Who knows? All right. Coty. Ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout yesterday, or sorry, last week. Really got to see what tomorrow does. That weekly candle for Bitcoin does not look. So on the weekly chart, big gaps here between the bodies of the candlesticks and the Tenkan Sen. 2 weeks ago, last week. A little extended. Bonk. Yeah. Definitely seeing a little Little pullback across the board. Which is fine. Aave, man. If you want to talk about a crypto that is a powerhouse in the space it operates, Aave is just the dominant player in that lending protocol side of things. Was it like 30 billion? Aave TVL. Oh, I got rid of the ticker by accident. Let me do that other thing. See what DeFi Llama says. So 19.17 billion TVL locked. Although, why do I think that that's not? This one frustrates me because I was looking at it a lot down here earlier this year and telling myself that I was gonna get in and never did. Yeah, I thought I saw. No. Maybe that's 20 billion. Not a small amount of money, but yeah. And Aave, I think, controls over 60% of the lending market as far as its market cap dominance is concerned. AVAX. Really good. Anyways, we got a meeting in the. Let's see. GRT and Adam. Yeah. I was about to log off here, but I can do that quick. Go with Cosmos first. That's like it got punched in the face or got hit with a sock full of nickels. Damn. How fast did that occur? Oh, that's why. Oh, no. Wait, is that? Yeah. It's because that, like, I hate those candles. It's not really good representation of what's happened today. Daily chart looks fine. There's a Kumo twist that comes up on the 5th, and I mean between the 4th and the 5th, really. So, and Kumo twists, you don't really have to know anything else other than Kumo twists are when the cloud changes color, and you know about them way ahead of time because it shows up 26 periods in front of you. So, but in a nutshell, how to interpret them is kind of like a stopping point in time. So if something is trending very strongly in any direction, in this case up, if something is trending very strongly up and it's continuing to trend higher as it gets closer to the Kumo twist, this is a heads up that says, hey, this is a good, we're entering into a good time period where, you know, a major minor swing high may occur here for Cosmos, and the inverse is true too if it was traveling down. So technically we need to wait like one more day, but I mean the trend is very strongly to the upside here on the daily chart. It is trending strongly as well. I mean, the slope is the angle of this rise is pretty strong. So yeah, this is warning of a pause on the weekly chart though. You know, it has not yet had its own it has not had its own ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout yet. And it is parked precisely like I was saying earlier, that most recent contemporary books by Charles Kunitz identified this kind of setup as really for people who want to be aggressive Ichimoku analysts and traders, that this is one of those setups that really kind of falls right into his criteria for, you know, an aggressive long entry. You know, there's not the bodies of the candlesticks between the current weekly and the Tenkan Sen is not crazy. You know, we do have last week's weekly Chiku span back here closed above the bodies of the candlesticks. Both the Tenkan Sen and the Kijin Sen are pointing up, and the future cloud is getting thin. So, I mean, yeah, the candlestick itself looks like a piece of crap, but if you get rid of that insane, I don't even know if all the exchanges probably show that. This is Binance's, maybe. Actually, let's just check. This Coinbase's look like. Yeah, Coinbase doesn't show the wick, so this is a much better representation of what's happening. Yeah, and by next week, this will be pointing higher. Regardless, this is for the, I'm adding it to the list I want to look at, but this is probably like on a list of hurry up and wait. If it stays around here or ends up in the cloud by the end of the week, if it closes in here, I really like it because it is lagging its peers. Yeah, and here's the other behavior that you see with Ichimoku is the Chiku span. You know, it and this doesn't get stressed enough to new people using Ichimoku, is that the Chiku span, it's like having two candlestick charts. All right. In fact, I've been thinking about contracting out some dude to I could figure it out on my own, I think. I'm not a coder by any stretch, but I feel like this one wouldn't be too hard to do. But if you're wondering what the Chiku span is, the easiest way is just to like show you. Yeah, all it is, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's just the current price action shifted back 26 periods. So if we turned this, let me just hide all this for a second. At least the baseline and the conversion line. If we turn this from a candlestick chart into a line chart, it'll make a lot more sense. And let's make it, you know, thick enough that you can see what it is. See, it's just a mirror image of price 26 periods back. And what's interesting about it is the Chiku span will respond to the same resistance and support levels that the current price does. And if I get rid of where do you get? If I hide the price chart and all you see is the Chiku span, the daily. Oh, it probably doesn't like that because you can't. I'm getting zero very good examples of this. But it will respond to the same resistance and support levels that price does. So that's the point I was making. And when we go back to the weekly chart for Cosmos, you can see that it, bottom of the cloud here acting as resistance, also acting as resistance here too. So, yeah. And depending how this plays out over the next few weeks, you could have one of those weird instances when the Chica span closes above the cloud before price does. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, in a nutshell, this is a hurry up and wait. Then GRT, which is the graph. Yeah. God, you see this all the time today. All right. The good thing is on the weekly chart, get rid of that. Closed inside the cloud. But the cloud here is thin. It's thin until basically the last week of July. And so the cloud here is thin, meaning it's very easy for prices to, move through it. As long as the Chiku span closes above the bodies of the candlesticks, the graph's weekly chart also falls into that aggressive long entry position. But it isn't a frustrating, but both Atom, the graph, and some of the other altcoins we've looked at, all of them have this kind of frustrating zone where I can just imagine how the week is going to be if you're watching these two in particular. Is the daily candles are going to be kind of irritating because you might just, if we don't see a strong return to equilibrium, things are just going to kind of like ping pong around here for a while. Yeah, no, and I'm looking at the composite index, detrended price oscillate. Oh yeah, there's so much juice that has yet to be squeezed out of this thing. Mr. Stickers, thank you for pointing these ones out. These are going to be interesting ones to watch here now. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to end it there, and I'll talk with you guys tomorrow.